Hi YouTube family, it's your girl Love Kisses 99 and I'm coming to you today with a quick tip. Closure itself is from Closure Warehouse and then the hair itself is from extensionswarehouse.com. When I received the hair, it was virgin hair, but I wanted to color it and I was kind of wanting to go with like a red burgundy kind of mixture. So I used some hair dye from Sally Beauty Supply called, I think it's called Highlights, and it's something for dark hair so you don't necessarily have to lift the hair before you color it. But to my point, I got some of the dye on my silk closure. Instantly, I wanted to panic. But I said, you know what, let me just figure out how I can remove this dye from this closure because I did get quite a bit of it on the closure. Now, as you can see, my part is my correct color, but I got a little bit of the dye on this part of the closure here. So I wanted to come to you and show you, in case you make the same mistake I did, how you can do the repair to your closure. And all it takes is something simple that you likely have in your kitchen cabinet where you keep your spices and all that great stuff. Bleach will not work when it comes to silk and removing dye from the silk based closure. But the one thing that will work is vinegar. I'm going to do a quick tutorial and show you how, in case you do make the mistake that I made. I wanted my roots dark, but I went a little too high in that spot with the dye and it kind of bled through onto the silk. Stay tuned and let me show you exactly how you can make the repair to your silk closure. I searched, as I stated, all over YouTube trying to find how you can remove hair dye from your silk closure. I couldn't find one, so I decided to show you how I do it. Stay tuned and I'm going to put in the footage now and just check it out. So here's the wig, and as you can see that the part on the side is, I didn't get any dye on that part, but I did get dye on the back and the underside of the closure. But I'm going to show you how easily you can remove it. Now there are a couple of ways. The ways I did it, you'll see here, but you can also dip your closure in like maybe a little cup with some vinegar in it and just let it sit for maybe, I would say maybe just a few minutes, but you can keep an eye on it and you'll be able to see the dye lifting from the closure. So as you can see, it's really red. So here's just some distilled white vinegar, not a brand name, just something from my local ShopRite. And I'm going to do it using Q-tips. And I did speed the video up just a little bit. And I'm just putting that vinegar right on the silk in order to lift that color out of the closure. Now what I also did is I put a clear, like a white napkin underneath it, just so you would be able to see with just a little bit of work how the dye will come off right onto the napkin. Again, if you want to dip your closure, that would be probably easier, but since I already made the wig, I wanted to just go ahead and do it with the Q-tip. And that's how easy it was. Initially, I thought about bleach, but bleach doesn't work. And there you can see some of the red coming off on that cloth. I really just used the cloth so you would be able to see that it really does work. And I'm going to use some more vinegar. I could have used a cotton pad. I could have used like maybe an old, cloth or something that I wasn't using anymore, and it would have really gotten the same effect. Probably it would have moved a little bit faster. But this is just something real quick because I know sometimes we're dyeing hair and we make these mistakes, and I'm not a professional, and you can see a little bit of the red hair dye on the Q-tip. Yeah, and that's how easy it is. Nothing too complicated. Bleach won't do it. Bleach will not work. It doesn't work on silk anyway. So there you can see it's still a little red. I'm just going to use another cloth and just kind of dampen it and rub it in. Just rubbing that vinegar in. And you can see some of the red even coming off on the napkin. It was my intention for the roots of the closure to be dark. So I kind of went a little crazy up here when I was dyeing the hair. But this is what it is. So I would really suggest you use a cotton cloth in order to do this process. And here I have some pictures coming up of the before and after, and there you can see some of the dye coming off. This is what the closure looked like before, pretty red in that area right there. And then here are some close-ups of the completed process. I hope this is helpful. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you use it in case you need it. So have a good day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.